Good morning, everybody. It is 11 o'clock, or 11:30, apologize. So we will go ahead and get started with this answer hour. So as we've done in previous answer hours, this one's a little bit different. I will go ahead and run through some frequently asked questions related to legal group management, and we'll kind of run through the questions and the demo as needed throughout those questions. One thing that I would ask is if any of you could possibly provide feedback on the need to continue this type of answer hour, or possibly roll it in with our legal answer hours, or decrease the frequency. I think that would be helpful as well. So with that, I'll just go ahead and hop into our frequently asked questions. And a quick reminder, I think I forgot to say this, we'll record this just so it's available up on the website. And then if you have any questions, please just feel free to enter those into the chat. These are the questions that we most frequently get from our legal group administrators. So there are a lot that I've seen, or a few that I've seen, actually, I shouldn't say a lot, a few that I've seen where a user is still showing up as pending, and people are just wondering what would be causing that. So in that instance, what is actually happening most of the time is that that person has never registered for campus. So the first thing to do would be to just check with them, make sure that they registered for campus. You can resend an invite if necessary as well, but they shouldn't need an invite to register. If you've confirmed that they've registered, the next thing that you would want to do is just make sure that the email address that they registered with is the same as the email that was sent in the invite. I've seen a few instances where people either erroneously type their email address when they're registering, or the invitation itself has an erroneous email address. So if that's the case, you can contact the help desk. We can walk you through how to update that email. And I'll actually go ahead and just show you all an example of that as well in this answer hour, just so you can see exactly how that works. This is something that your users can actually just go ahead and do on their own. So right now I'm logged in as an attorney. If I needed to change my email address, let's say I used an erroneous email to sign up for the system, the first thing I'd want to do is touch base with the help desk and see if they could unlock that account, because obviously if you used an erroneous email address, you likely did not get a confirmation email. After you've had that unlocked, all you have to do is have that user log in with those credentials, go up to their name in the corner and click on it. Click Edit Profile. Oh, and I apologize, I just got booted. Let's see here. Maybe doing some system work right now, so I apologize. We do have a release that's going out later today, so it appears that they may be doing some work on a test database so we can get that release out on time. So all you would need to do in that instance, once they're up in the profile section, they can just update their email address and click Save. That will just update it for them, and they should be able to log in with that updated email address immediately. Changing permissions for users and allocation. So I think we've gone through this in a few answer hours previously. All you would need to do is go ahead and click into your group page. So the step-by-step for that, since we have some system maintenance going on, you would click on your name up in the right-hand corner, the upper right-hand corner, just like I was showing earlier. You would click on My Groups, which would be your second option in that list. And then you would just select the group that you would like to change those permissions to. Click that little kebab menu right next to it and click Manage Group. So with that, what it will do is it will take you then to a list of the people that are in your group. Well, looks like I'm back up and running, so I can show you guys that. So we click My Groups. It takes us to a list of our groups, like this kebab, just like I said, and click Manage Group. It takes us to this list of people in our group. And then what we can do is we can select any of them, scroll down to the bottom, and click Edit Permissions. Now you can see here that Attorney 7 has group administrator rights. So that means that they can add people to the group, they can remove people, they can update someone's permissions or relationships. We have a couple more permissions in the system. So we have our service of process designee. Something very important to remember with this, anyone with this permission will receive legal service of documents. So it's not a one-for-one thing. It's always going to be anybody who has this permission. So if you specify multiple people, then everybody who has that designation will get a service document. Our designated contact for information requests from DLI, this would just be the people who would get anything that's that non-service communication. Our profile management designee, they can submit requests to update things like the firm name or to add an address. And then our claim access administrator, this one is going to be a little bit less pertinent for your group. It really would only be if your firm is listed on a dispute or a claim as a party. So it's relatively rare for someone to need to use that claim access administrator just because our access is at the attorney and legal support professional level. If I wanted to update the relationships, I could just go down to this relationships tab, click edit, and you can see here that I've got this attorney related to Robert and Melissa. If for some reason one of them left the firm, I could click the trash can, move them out, or if they got a different assignment, I can always add them back. And then if we needed to remove somebody from the firm, I could just click on that user and then click this remove member button. It'll confirm with us that we need to remove this person. Once we remove that person, it just takes them right out of the group. I think that covered a few of the points on my slide. I'll go ahead and I'll touch base on this multiple locations one as well. I think we covered the permissions and the relationships. So this is one that we've been seeing more frequently than not. And I apologize, it looks like I removed group administrator permissions from myself. But more often than not, we've been seeing that with our rehab users. So those folks are seeing, they typically have their addresses pulled into more of their accounts, or not accounts, their filings rather than attorneys. Most of what you all are doing just has a firm address rather than a location address. But what we can do is you do have the ability to actually select specific addresses for people within your firm. You don't have to do this. And I'll run through this in just a moment here so that I can demonstrate. I'm just adding myself back. To this group really quickly. What you can do in this instance is you can actually go ahead and go right into the same place we were to add those group members, manage the group. You can leave the address general, so you can see as another attorney, I've got all the locations listed, or just have that specified. But if we needed to specifically just put me with one location, to do that as well. So if you're a firm that has multiple locations, you may want to specify those locations for your support staff and your attorneys. This question, the next question should be mostly resolved. So I'm related to an attorney, but I can't see their claims or cases. Why is this and how do I resolve it? For the most part, that should be resolved. If it's a situation where you are still not seeing claims for your attorney and the attorney is not seeing them as well, it's possible that we just don't have a notice of appearance. In that instance, I would recommend just filing that notice of appearance for that attorney, and that should grant access to the attorney as well as any of their related support staff. I'm trying to invite someone to the group, but it says that they cannot be added. Most of the time, this is going to be because of their user type. So if somebody is going to be part of a legal group, they would either need to be listed as an attorney, an other legal professional, a legal assistant, or a paralegal. So if for some reason somebody inadvertently registered with a different user type, you can contact the help desk. We can update that type for you pretty quickly on our end. Another instance where you might see that is if you are trying to add an attorney and that attorney is potentially already part of a firm. So either a situation where that attorney is coming from a different firm, and so they're going to maintain their campus account, but they're just going to change their email address. That's where you might see it. They may not be removed from that other firm's group. In that instance, they can usually just remove themselves from the group. It's pretty simple. If it's something where that person is just starting fresh with a new campus account, you should be able to add them after they register. They may just need to, we may just need to deactivate their account because it is linked to their bar ID, but I would recommend just having them update that email address and then having them removed from the other group that they were previously in. And then the last question, my service process designee was not notified of a document that served in campus. What should I do? So for the most part, I believe that we've resolved this, but if it's something that you see, please contact the help desk and let us know the specific instance. Let us know the document that wasn't received. So if someone else received it, but that person did not, make sure that you include that user's email address that's associated with campus. We can dig into it a little bit further and see if it's an issue on our end or if it's just something where service wasn't executed in the normal way that it would be. So went through kind of a lot of information there really quickly. One last thing that I wanted to touch on before we leave this call today is the survey that we sent out. So I think many of you were on the last call, but we did send a survey out to our external stakeholders. We just want to know some of your functionality preferences as we start to make improvements to the system. So we really want to gauge what would be useful for you all. We have some ideas about what would be useful, but we definitely want your feedback just so we can make sure that we are aligning with what we think may be useful with what would be useful in or useful to you all. So I see that there is a comment just continuing these answer hours. I think what we will likely do with these is we'll just roll them into the legal answer hours. We'll put it kind of at the end so that anybody who doesn't need to stick around for group management can log off. It looks like we have attendance than normal. I think that will probably be kind of our plan moving forward. I don't see any other questions or comments in the chat. So with that, I can go ahead and give you all a good chunk of time back in your hour. Thank you all so much for attending, and we will be in touch as we schedule these out further. Thank you.